In this session, we will see about the corporate personality. Corporate personality means a company is a person created by law. It is an artificial person created by law. It has a right to acquire land, property, tangible or intangible, movable or immovable property. It can file suit against third party and third parties can file suit against a company. This is an artificial person. It has a perpetual succession, it has separate legal entity. We will see in detail. In 17th-18th century, there were heavy demand for the capital because of industrialization. Under partnership, people cannot bring in more capital. So what they made, they pooled the capital and 3 or 4 persons as a trustee were managing the companies. There were many companies, many people cheated the investors. So there was an act called the Bubbles Act in 1720. It curtailed all such companies. It was a hindrance for collecting capital for industrialization. Later in 1825 the act was repealed and in 1844 a Joint Stock Companies Act was brought into existence in that British company. In India, in 1850, the Joint Stock Companies Act came into existence. It may have modified so many times. Previously it was 1956 Companies Act. Now it is 2013 Companies Act. This is how the act has come. Now we will see the characteristics one by one. First is independent corporate existence. Section 9 gives this power. It says it is a body corporate under common seal. It can purchase property, it can purchase movable property, immovable property, tangible or intangible. It can file suit against others, it can be filed suit against a company, can be filed the third party. Section 9 clearly says it will have a perpetual succession. Section 9 says it can use a common seal. So common seal acts as a signature for the company. It is an artificial person created by law. The whole thing comes from Section 9. There is a case called Solomon versus Solomon Company Limited. Solomon, a person who was manufacturing boots and shoes, transferred the entire business to a limited company formed in the name of Solomon Company Limited. He transferred everything for 40,000 pounds sterling. He kept 20,000 shares with him. He issued 7 shares to others, his wife, his son, daughter, like that. He appointed 3 directors. The company appointed 3 directors. One is Solomon and the other 2 are his son with a nominal share of 1. Even though they were holding 1 share, they were appointed as director. Company directors are son, 2 sons of Solomon and son. Company shareholders are Solomon and his family people, 7 members, because 7 is a minimum number. The business was going on for some time. After that loss, so it had to be closed. The company went into liquidation. At that time the company was having property worth only 6,000 pounds sterling. The Solomon company, when transferring, he took a share of 20,000 and 20,000 rupees as debentures, and while taking the debentures he made a condition that debentures first charge on the assets of the company. So Solomon, being a debenture holder, has a first charge over the assets of the company. The assets of the company is only 6,000. Solomon is having a debentures. If the 6,000 is to be realized, only Solomon will get the amount. The other unsecured creditors will not get any amount because Solomon is having a first charge over the assets as a debenture holder. These unsecured creditors went to the court. The court, they contended that it is only Solomon because it is like a Solomon company. He is the director, his son are nominal directors. Entire shareholding is with his family, each having only 1 share except Solomon. So it is a individual. So the unsecured creditors should get the money from the sale of the assets. But the court held a company as a separate legal entity. So company is a separate legal entity. It is different from the person. It is different from the shareholders. As a debenture holder, Solomon will get the money. This was held because the company is different and the shareholders are different. The company has a separate legal entity, separate corporate personality. So the unsecured creditors could not get anything. Second, limited liability. The second characteristic is limited liability. Under partnership, the liability of the partner is unlimited. For example, if a partner is investing 10,000 rupees and on closure of business he has to pay 20,000 rupees to the creditors, then he has to pay 10,000 from the business investment and also 10,000 from his personal asset, because partners have unlimited liability. Under the companies, the shareholders' liability is limited to the extent of their investment in shares. If a person has taken 10,000 rupees share and if the company losses is more, he need not pay anything more. Even if the company has to pay more amount because of the accumulated losses, his liability is limited to the extent of 10,000 rupees. But in case the shares are partly paid, the shareholder has a liability to pay the full amount. If he has paid only 5,000 rupees on face value of the shares of 10,000 rupees, he has to pay another 5,000 rupees. Liability is limited to the extent of the share value. Third is a perpetual succession. It will have the continuous existence. For example, if there is a private partnership firm, if partners, there are 4 partners, all the partners died, means the company will be closed. The firm will be closed. But a company is different, shareholders are different. For example, if there are 10 shareholders, all are going on excursion or some tour. Because of accident, all the 10 died. Even then the company will be there. The legal heirs of 10 persons will be the shareholders and they will be managing the company thereafter. This is perpetual succession. Next 4 is separate legal entity. Even in the Solomon and Solomon case, we saw that company is different, shareholder is different. Company is different from the shareholders. It will be a separate entity, not connected with the shareholders. There is a case, Makara versus Northern Assurance. That is, it is like a Solomon company case. One person was managing show. Timbers were in the books of the company, but this person took insurance in his personal name. When the insurance company refused to make a payment for the claim submitted, when they went to the court held company is a separate legal entity. You have not taken insurance in the name of the company. It is in your own name, so it is not possible. He could not get the money. Next, number 5 is transferable shares. The shares are transferable. For example, if it is a partnership firm, one person because of age, he wants to retire. So he has to get the permission from the other partners. Other partners, they will decide whether to induct a new partner's admission, or they themselves have to take the share. They have to decide, then only this person can leave. Even if the person wants to give the share to his son, or the other partners have to agree to that. Any admission or retirement, other partners' agreement is required. But it is not the case with the company. A person purchases a 10,000 rupees share. As a movable property, he can sell to anybody. It can be sold in the any other person through the share market. Next is, the company can file a suit against third party, or third party can file a suit. The section 9 clearly says that the company can file a suit against third party for anything, or third parties can also file suit against it. Another important characteristic of this company is management is different from the ownership. Ownership, who are the owners? The shareholders. But who will manage? There is a team called the board of directors. They manage the company. So they will appoint, they may be one among the shareholders, or there may be professionals hired by the company people. So management is different. ownership is different. In partnership, ownership and management are the same. In sole proprietorship, ownership and management are the same. Here it is two different things. But small companies, both may be, it is a family concern, a private limited company, both may be the same. Next is a finance. Under companies, the opportunity of accumulating finance, accumulating capital for the company is huge. Any infrastructure, anything requiring more capital can be taken up under the company. The public limited company, there is no limit for the number of shareholders. They can it can run to lakhs or crores, and they can get money from the shareholders. The opportunity of collecting capital from the people is more than the other things. Now we will see the disadvantages. Disadvantages means even though there are some advantages, there are some disadvantages. One is a lifting of the corporate veil. That is, sometimes if the company is used to defraud the other people, then the court will see whether the company and the person are one and the same or different. For example, in the case of Salmon and Salmon Company Limited case, it is the same person doing all business. If he has formed the company with the intention of defrauding others, in the intention of committing fraud, then in that case the court will lift the corporate veil and see that the company and the person are the same. This may be treated as one of the disadvantages, but it is in the interest of the other people to not to defraud the other persons, or to not to open the start a company just to avoid taxation. For all these things, this will be done. Next is formalities. A partnership firm can be started very easily, just an agreement. But under Companies Act, there are so many formalities. You have to conduct a 3 months once directors meeting. Everybody, shareholders should be informed of their operations once in 3 months, and there are so many conditions. This right from the registration of the company. But these are the conditions are put by the Companies Act just to safeguard the interests of the shareholders. So we cannot directly say it is a disadvantage, but it is a inconvenience the person has to do if he is going for the company, but he has to abide by all the provisions of the Companies Act. Next, third is company is not a citizen. It does not have the fundamental rights which is offered to the citizens by the Constitution of India. In State Trading Corporation versus Commissioner of Taxation, it was held that company cannot claim fundamental rights. But subsequently, in State of Gujarat versus Ambika Mills case, it is modified, slightly modified, not in clear terms. They say, if an individual's fundamental right is affected because of the operations against the company, then they can go to the court for protecting their fundamental rights. For example, if a person is doing business in the name of a limited company, if the government is taking over that, then the person can move to the court, because under Constitution of India, I have a right to do business. Because of this action, my fundamental right is affected. Like that, they can go. Not the company cannot go and say that my fundamental right is affected because the company is not a citizen. In the next session, we will see some other topic.